The Chicano Moratorium is characterized as participating or becoming part of the anti-war movement, but it was more than that, right? I mean, what was the opposition to the Vietnam War based in, and how did the relevance to how Chicanos felt they were being treated in their own homes, in their own homeland, how did that play into the conversation?
Well, there was a couple of things going on there. One is that the anti-war movement of that time, well, it did some such very, very positive work, was a predominantly white-led movement, white composition movement. And there were some significant weaknesses on understanding no justice, no peace. So while there was a lot of movement to get very positive work done to end the U.S. involvement in the war against Vietnam, a lot of times oppressed people of color were not included equitably and equally in that movement. So we created our own movements, our own anti-war movements, and the Chicano Moratorium was one very, very important aspect of that, that connected not only our opposition to the war, initially inspired by the fact that our rates of injury and death in Vietnam were some of the highest. I think ourselves and the African Americans had the highest casualty rate of all the troops in Vietnam, in the Vietnam conflict. But at the same time, we were underrepresented in higher education, underrepresented in political elected office, underrepresented in voting, underrepresented in the media, underrepresented in popular culture. So there was really a dissatisfaction and a growing anger at this contradiction, that it's okay for us to go fight and die for the U.S. empire, but in the meantime, we suffered this continuing and persistent oppression at home. So the Chicano Moratorium was, it was what I like to call a festival of the oppressed. It was our festival expressing, one, our solidarity with the people of Vietnam and in Southeast Asia, and secondly, as many of the signs said, our fight is in our barrios. It's not in Southeast Asia. Our fight is here for our national rights, for democracy, and for equality. So that was very, very significant. And the other thing that was significant about it, Sonali, is it was organized by mainly young radicals. And this was a shock to the powers that be. Seymour Hersh's book, The Price of Power, where he talks about the absolute disgraceful career of Henry Kissinger. In that book, he mentions that the Nixon administration was shocked by the Chicano Moratorium. They were just unbelievable. They were caught completely by